Ready? Okay. Today it is Late Night Whispers on his gorgeous radio, and I am Coco. How's everybody doing today? And today I have Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller is a very long time friend, and I had to get him on my show. So can you first tell us a little bit about yourself, Anthony?
Hi, everyone. I'm Anthony Miller. I was born in Washington, D.C. I born and raised in Washington, D.C. all my life. I went to school with Janet. Janet and I met in elementary school.
And he was off the chain.
I went to high school. After I graduated junior high school, my mother, I was kind of going to be a wayward child, so my mother moved me to Catholic school. So I graduated from Macon Catholic High School in 1982.
Okay.
From there, I went to St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Virginia. Started there for about 2 years and started getting in trouble and ended up getting put out of there. Went through a little period in my life, where I was selling drugs and doing all the wrong things and, got caught up in the system. And back in 1994, I was arrested.
Oh, wow.
For the long stretch. I got arrested in Virginia for distribution of drugs, of cocaine.
Okay.
And that's where my life changed. I was shot by the police.
Get out.
With a near-death experience. But I pleaded out to a 10-year sentence, and I did 10 years in federal prison. I say that to say that I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been to college, I've been to prison. I've learned a lot from both. After I did that 10-year stretch, I came home, met my wife. Well, I had known my wife for a long time, and we got married while I was in prison.
Oh, wow.
And when I came home, she was a member of D.C. government. She was working for D.C. government, and she got me a job in D.C. government.
Cool.
And I've been in D.C. government ever since. I've been in D.C. government for 15 years, Department of Transportation.
Oh, okay.
Street and bridge maintenance. I'm the guy that you see out there filling the potholes and
I ain't
repaving the
seen
streets.
you yet, because we got a lot of potholes where I live.
Yeah, and then on the snow time, I got my CDL license, so
Okay.
during the snow time, I'm the guy you see with the big truck with the orange plow on it.
Okay,
And
cool,
plowing
cool,
the snow
cool.
and spreading the salt. I'm very grateful to be a Washingtonian. I lived in all parts of Washington D.C. Northeast, Southeast, Southwest, Southeast. So I know D.C. very well.
Okay.
And I'm just happy to be here and happy to know you.
Right, right.
We have a history.
Yeah, now
so
you
to
got to
speak.
just go back, just to help me out. You said that you got, I'm going to tell you to put your phone on vibrate. So you said you got shot by the police. How did this happen?
Well,
And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because these police officers are shooting us left and right. So I just want you to elaborate just a little bit.
during my arrest, what happened was during my arrest, it was. Let me go back. The way I got arrested, I was under investigation by the DEA. I was selling drugs in D.C., but my cousin, we won't name, told me about some people, some business that was in Virginia.
Okay.
And so me being money hungry, went out to Virginia to service the Virginia people. And that person ended up being a DEA agent.
Oh, okay.
So they held me under investigation for like a couple of months. And I sold him a quarter kilo of cocaine, crack cocaine.
I don't know about that, so can't
And
help
it's like
you.
about 9 ounces anyway.
Okay.
So I had a deal. They tried to offer me a deal in the end. But what happened was when I was getting out the car and they making the arrest, when I was getting out the car, he was switching his gun from one hand to the other and it discharged.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
it
you
discharged.
couldn't have sued him?
I tried.
Oh my
tried
God.
to sue,
I
but
would have.
every lawyer I talked to told me that it was a superficial wound. And that means that it didn't go all the way in. It didn't go inside my body. It just kind of scraped my body. But I have a lifelong scar right here that I will never forget.
Oh
but
my
I mean,
goodness.
it's a blessing and a curse. It's more of a blessing because I could have lost my life. It could have been worse. I could have been dead. But I look at the 10 years that they gave me. At the time was 1994, so we weren't at the millennium or any of that stuff yet. So I was thinking when I said, man, when I get out, the car's gonna be flying and everything. You know?
No, we not there yet. We
So that's
getting
how
there,
I
but
thought.
yeah, we're not there
Yeah,
yet. Oh my
yeah, but
goodness.
that's how I thought. You
Wow.
know, so I took it as a blessing, and I changed my life while I was there. I made myself marketable. I got my fitness training certification while I was there
While he was in jail?
to make myself
Okay.
marketable when I did return to society, because I learned that, you know, from an old man in jail about this justification thing. He told me that while I was in prison. He said there's going to be a lot of white people coming into D.C., trying to take back D.C.
Oh yes, and they
you
trying
know,
hard.
like it was before. He's going to run up the housing
Exactly.
prices, so the black people
Exactly.
won't be able to afford to
Exactly.
live in D.C. And I was like,
Exactly.
that's crazy.
Yes.
You off your
I
you
can
off your
tell you
rocker,
that now
man.
because
That
I
ain't gonna
live
happen.
where I live now. Just the taxes alone, I was paying $800 a year. My taxes have gone up to almost 2,000, and if it wasn't because of my mom and her age, it would be more than that.
Wow.
So yes, they are. Yes, we're going.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, that's what I was told.
Wow.
And I didn't believe him at the time, but it stuck in my mind, and now it's all coming to fruition. So I tell people, somebody told me about this a long time ago, and I kind of blew them off, but it's coming to fruition now, and I understand what he's talking about. They tell you that older people have wisdom, and a lot of times you have to listen to them because they do have that wisdom.
Yes, indeedy. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. I'm sorry that you did get shot, and I'm sorry that you did do your time. But on some levels, like you said, it's a good and a bad thing. Number one, you're learning, and then you're trying to do better. So sometimes by you being stopped to be held down for a while, and I mean held down behind bars, that kind of gives you that time now to think and strategize and decide on what you're going to do to kind of make money.
Right.
So go on.
So yeah, like I said, when I was in prison, I did a lot of. When I went to school, I tried to finish college. I took some college classes there, and actually, I'm in college as we speak. The government, DC government, is paying for me to go to UDC. I'm a senior now, and I don't
Gotta
care.
give you a high five on that. I know
don't
that's
care
right.
how old I am. I still want to get
Right,
that. I still want to get that degree. I'm 55 years old.
I'm right
by the
behind
way.
you.
So a lot of people tell me I don't look that age.
don't.
But, I
You
try to
look
keep
the
myself in
exact
shape.
same.
Yes, I work out three to four times a week, and have I used my certification when I came home to be marketable, and I got a few jobs in a couple of gyms. I worked at Gold's Gym, I worked at Results Gym,
Okay.
and right now I'm starting my own little fitness
Okay.
company. It's called Purple Spinach.
Okay.
And
All right, that's an interesting name.
yeah,
Why did you call it that?
Purple spinach because purple actually is my favorite color,
Oh, okay.
and spinach is my favorite vegetable.
So why don't you have on purple today?
I have a little bit of purple on.
There's no purple. No,
right
it's not
there.
no purple.
have a little bit of purple on, but I was just giving you some background on the
Okay.
name of my
That's
business.
interesting.
I also do hauling.
Okay.
I do hauling. I came home. When I first came home, first thing I wanted to do was get a pickup truck. I didn't even want a car. I wanted a pickup truck.
So you
Because
can start making
another
money.
old man, that same old man,
Yeah.
told me that you can always
Always
get
make
you some money with a
Yes.
pickup truck.
Yes.
Even if you don't have a job,
Right.
that pickup truck can be your
Exactly.
job.
I know that
You can
for a
always
fact.
hustle. You don't have to sell drugs to hustle.
Right.
So I've always been a hustler, and like I said, I don't sell drugs anymore, but I still hustle.
Right.
So
But
this
it's
is my pickup truck.
bred inside of us. I do believe that every black person has that hustle. And I'll just give an example, like you said, when you were doing your drugs or whatever, you get whatever, and I don't know nothing about kilos or nothing, but if you get a certain amount and you give it to 5 people and you say X, Y, and Z, they know how much money they got to bring back. You've already figured it out. And then now you know that these 2 people, once you get that money, you can reload up. I think that's the correct way to say it. And then the other ones, you can put that money in your pocket. So us as black folks, that's bred within us.
Yeah.
So
It is, and I learned early. My mom, rest her soul, she told me, you have to be a survivor.
Right.
Don't depend on anyone for your success.
Right,
You know, I should
exactly,
always put God
exactly.
first, and I'm more of a spiritual person than I am a religious person. So I believe that there is a higher being and there is a God, and I try to live right. I'm not
Right.
perfect, but I try to live right and do the right
Yeah, because
things.
I
And
remember back in school, he used to put he was with what was his name, Jeffrey Canton, and they put people's hair on fire. Lord, child, woo, that was
yeah,
just one of the bad things.
yeah, we all have our
Yeah.
child things that we used to
Hmm.
do, But I'm grateful for my past because it's developed me into the person that
Right,
I am today.
exactly.
I have to, I go out and I talk to young people, about, being in the gangs and being a part of the crowd and doing all the wrong things, because when I came home, I had people in my life that, wanted me to share my story
Hmm.
and help someone else.
Right,
Especially since I was trying to do the right thing.
right.
I didn't want to be a part of the recidivism rate.
Now I know that you do say that you do talk to the youth. Do you think that there's anything that can be said or done or created within the community where the youth would stop hustling? Do you think that there's any means to talk or create something? Because I don't think this is ever going to stop. I know it's a big question.
Well, that is a big question, but it's a question that needs to be asked, and it's a good question. My thing is when young people or anybody has is doing something that is not right or is illegal or you know in some way bad, it's because they have no alternatives.
Right.
So my first thing would be alternatives. Give them something interesting, educating, and exciting to do. Um, First of all, we have to talk to them and see what's on their minds. What do they want? What do they want out of life? Because a lot of people don't have plans. And they told me if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Right,
So
but when they see all of these shows about money, 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 and throwing up money and going to the strip joint and things like that, that's all they see. That's all they want. I mean, everybody, even myself, I want a quick, fast buck. I mean, but I know me. I'm not going to do it crazily. I'm going to do it the right way or close to the right way. But that's all they're seeing. You see them, these guys with stacks and stacks of money, and that's all they see. That's all they want. A pair of Timbs or a pair of Gucci's or a pair of whatever.
right.
You know.
Yeah, well, a lot of them haven't had a role model. Haven't had role
Right.
models either because um, a lot of black teens and children or adolescents in Washington D.C. and the surrounding area grow up without a father,
Yes.
and the mother, has to be sometimes the mother and the father.
Hmm.
And while I applaud the mothers for taking on that role of being the mother and the father, it's one thing I always said, and somebody else taught me this, that
Our mother came
my mother can never teach me how to be a man. So we have to have role models and have people to step up and be mentors and talk to our youth about other alternatives
Right.
to better themselves and be examples. As I try to be an example when I talk to young people, I tell them what I'm doing and I show them what I'm doing, and I invite them to accompany me. I let them, okay, you can make a little bit of money. I have a hauling business. We can come on, you come and help me do some work. You gotta get your hands dirty. Every time, everybody's not cut out for the hard labor.
Right.
Some of them are more intelligent and
Right.
tech oriented.
Right,
And
right.
those people, there are definitely ways for them to advance in society. They got the STEM and they got things of that nature that young people can get into
Right.
that will develop their minds and help them to grow intellectually.
Right.
So there are many different avenues that the young people can take to advance themselves in life without going down that route of crime and having the big stacks and being a rapper or a basketball player, which I'm not downing any of those
Right,
things,
right.
but you gotta have a plan B. You
Yes.
know, if the rap thing ain't working out, you gotta have a job.
Right.
You know, to
Or
go to.
something other creative.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was always raised up as like, you got to have this. Now, okay, you got that rolling, do something
Hmm.
else. Because I was working full time and I had a business and I was doing this and I was.
Exactly.
So that's how, But let's go a little bit back. Okay, so tell us about your purple spinach.
Purple
Is that it?
spinach,
Okay, tell us
yes.
a little bit about that now. A
Purple
lot about
spinach.
that.
Purple spinach is my fitness training company.
Okay.
Right now, I have like 2 clients because, like I said, I'm like you. I work full time, and I do fitness training as a part time
Okay.
job. Right now, uh, Purple Spinach is like fitness training, nutrition, group training. I say fitness training because a lot of people say personal training, and I don't just do personal training. I could do groups. I could do, one-on-one. I can consult.
Okay.
I can also oversee people and give them advice on what to do and what not to do because everybody can't afford training.
I know these prices are crazy. Even though you want to work out, shoot, I called one guy and he was told me $50. I said, okay, so you're gonna come to me, you're gonna charge me $50 for 1 hour. So by the time you've gotten here and I'm trying to get myself together, 30 minutes is already gone. So, but let me ask you a question now. With your training, do you work with people with disabilities, like people with equilibrium? Because I have equilibrium problems. So, are you just strictly with, and I don't want to say normal, but are you strictly just normal people, or are you willing to work with people who, have issues and things of that nature?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that because actually, one of my clients that I have now has a disability,
Okay.
uh, and I do work with people. I work with pregnant women. I work
Oh, wow.
with people with disabilities.
Okay.
Uh, I work with normal people.
Okay.
I work with all types of people. So,
And
that's a
then
good
do you
question.
do any workout like in the water and things of that nature?
Yes, I
That's
do
what
more workout. Yes.
I will go over to Deanwood, and I had been doing the spin class in the water. It kind of sets me off a little bit because they got you kind of in the deep, deep water, and then they did the kickboxing. That wore me out too. So I have to try to figure out something in between. But what are your prices like, or are you flexible towards the person?
I am flexible toward the person. A lot of times, like the client that I have with the disability right now, he doesn't want to work out for a whole hour, so he can't really last a whole hour.
Right.
So we do 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I only charge him like $30, $25.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's not
You
bad.
know, my base price, I try to keep it affordable. Base price is like $40 per hour,
Okay.
which I think is pretty, reasonable.
Okay.
Because when I first started in this industry, we were getting like $60 to $75 per session.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Now, do you do any type of yoga working out, or is that such things?
Yeah, yoga is a workout. I do yoga, but I don't specialize in yoga. I specialize in core and abs. Uh, yeah,
Ooh, Lord, I need
that's what I
some cores
specialize
and
in.
abs fast.
Yeah.
OMG. Woo.
I believe that, with anyone trying to get fit, you have to establish your core because your core is like the control center of your
Right,
body.
exactly.
If that's not strong and if that's not functional, then everything else is going
It's
to be
just
kind
like-
of lacking. And
Yeah.
it's going to be just kind of mediocre.
Right,
If you
right,
just
right.
don't want mediocre, you need a strong core.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm gonna have to hit you up because I need some help. I just, I'm at my point. I'll be 55 in July. I just want to feel better. I'm okay with my size. I've always been full figure. You know what I mean? But I just want to be. I want to be like right here.
okay.
Right. So what else? Okay, I know you can't show us. Well, you could show us something, but what other? Kind of go into details of what do you do, like for the core or for somebody that's first. Like if you first met me, and I say hi, Anthony, I would like to work out. What are your questions to ask me and stuff like that, so people can kind of get an understanding.
That's a good question because a lot of times people get trainers and they just want to work out. They want the trainer to show them how to work out, to lose weight or to get rid of this gut. And some people walk up to me sometimes and say, how do I lose this? And they want you to just show them exercise and just go out and start exercising with them. And I think that's a real big no-no. If you have a good trainer, a quality trainer will talk to you about what you want first. Want to talk to you about your goals. Talk to you about what do you want, how do you want your body to look? How do you want to transform your body? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Do you have a bad shoulder? Do you have a bad knee?
Right.
But if I just you say you want to work and I just take you out to the gym and start working out, that's you could get hurt that way.
Right.
So never employ a trainer who doesn't talk to you first about, like I said, they're called musculoskeletal injuries or issues.
Right.
Say, like I said, a bum knee or a bad shoulder or something like that.
Okay.
You need to a good trainer needs to know those things before he starts working out with you. So he will know which exercises to do, what exercises not to do. He can improvise on and make the areas around the impaired area stronger, so that that bad shoulder or bad knee, you can strengthen it up, and you can do other things to help you with that. So you need to talk to them first. You always need to talk to your clients first.
I just had two thoughts. Okay. Now, I'm going back to the jail part for real quick. I remember watching this show about the worst convicts in America or something like that. Can you do this where if you're, like, say, this is the sink, there's a sink here and there's a sink here. Mm-hmm. You're upside down and you're doing these push-ups with your head in between the sinks? OMG, I think that is so awesome. When I watched that, I had to keep on rewinding. I said, for real though? For real though? I was like, wow, I think that is like, wow. Okay, and then another one, I saw this one guy. He looked like he was pulling up on the bar. He had a guy on this arm, and some guy around his neck. That was crazy. I know. I'm going backward.
That's doable, but let me first remind you.
Okay.
When you're in prison, you have nothing but
time.
So you have to work on those things. It's not like he just jumped up one
Oh
morning.
yeah, I
and
know. I get it.
That takes time. That takes weeks and weeks and weeks of practice.
But when I saw that, I thought that was so awesome. Okay, the second question is, all right, like for me, for instance, what would you tell me that's better to go to you than to go to like one of these solar bellows? And I think I'm pronouncing it right. It's a thing where they kind of suck when I see it, I see women something like me, but then most of the time I see the women that really are like pretty much already flat.
Right.
So what would you tell the folks to choose you more so than to choose the machine, if that makes sense?
Well, what I would say is it depends on your situation and how your body is. Fitness, a lot of fitness is genetics as well.
Okay.
Now, certain people, both would be okay.
Okay.
For me, coming to me, it's more of a natural thing. I'm going to kind of get you more into calisthenics, help you eat right.
Okay.
You got to realize that there are a lot of components to fitness, to overall fitness. Your stress level, how much you rest, how well you eat, when you eat.
And drinking, probably.
Exercise,
that's probably the
drinking. It's not just going to the gym.
Right.
Gym is just one part of it.
Right.
And diet is like 75 to 80%. So it's not what you eat, it's also when you eat, how much you eat, and how many times you eat. A lot of people have this crazy notion that if you eat one time a day, it's going to help you lose weight. No.
It makes you want to eat more.
It makes you want to eat more, and it throws off your body chemistry.
Right.
Because your body is like a cycle. You have to get stuff in, stuff has to go out.
Right,
So,
exactly.
as crazy as it might sound, going to the bathroom is a good thing because you're excreting things that are inside your body. You don't want stuff to stay in your body a long time. So there are a lot of different components you know, when it comes to weight loss and overall fitness. So I couldn't just tell you that you come to me instead of going to Son Bello until I know your situation. That's why I have to, you know, talk to you before, you know, I advise you on any kind of fitness regimen or whether you should just come to me or whether you should do both.
Okay.
You know, I'm not gonna, you know, I love to promote myself, but I want to be truthful with you as well.
Right.
You can never say that you talked to Anthony and he told you, well, coming to him was the best thing, and then when you found out otherwise because of your genetics, then you know you might feel like I'm giving you some misinformation. So I want to tell you the truth.
Right.
You know? Yeah, that's the best answer.
All right. So what? So if let's just say, let's use me. Okay. I'm 40. I mean, I'm not 45. I'm 54. I'll be 55. Anyway, whatever my age is. What would you tell me that I would need to do? One, I know I don't eat a lot of junky food. I have my drinks. I will admit that. But what would you tell me, and how long do you think, if I wanted some results between, say, now and August, what type of results would you see, or what type of results do you think I would get?
First of all, that is a good time period because, you know, you want to give yourself at least 4 to 6 weeks minimum, but 3 months is really good. I would say, first of all, that breakfast can be your biggest meal.
Okay.
Why? Because you have all day to burn it off.
Okay.
Okay? I would say try to eat 5 small meals throughout the day so that your body is constantly excreting and, you know, taking in and excreting food.
Okay.
And also, especially in the summertime, drink plenty of water.
That's probably the hardest thing for me to do.
Yeah.
So what else can I do other than drink?
Well, you can add a little. If water is like, you know, your nemesis or something, add a little, squeeze a little lemon in it, or add a little flavor to it. Put some cucumbers in it.
I'll work on that.
Work on the water. You gotta work on the water.
Oh Lord!
Because you know you want to cut back on the sodas and cut back on the fried food and drink a little more water. Drink a little more. You know, try to, especially during the summer, try to eat foods that you know
salads.
Colder
things like
foods.
that.
You know,
right.
Because you're gonna that's gonna help you keep your energy up for one.
Okay.
And then, like I said, you want to get fiber-rich foods, you know, because fiber is going to cleanse your colon.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about what's fiber-rich foods.
Fiber-rich foods include whole wheats and grains like oatmeal, apples are a good source of fiber. Let's see, legumes. Legumes are like nuts and peanuts and
Because when you said that, I was like, okay, all right.
Legumes.
That's a new word.
That's legumes.
Okay.
And you want to, you know, get your vegetables like your spinach and your kale, and you know, sometimes people, you know, make it easy and just do smoothies.
Right.
You know, you can, cause
that's
the
me.
fruit,
I'm a smoothier.
Yeah, the fruit is a good source of fiber. So apple has the most, as far as fruit. Apple has the most fiber in it.
Now, how does apples work within a smoothie? Do they chop up real decently?
Well, you have to. I would. What I normally do is I cut the skin, and I take out the core, where the seeds are, and just use and slice. And slice the white part.
I aim for that for the next one that I make.
Yeah. And kale is a very good source. Kale
I'm a
and
keller.
spinach. Yeah.
I love kale.
Yeah. And sometimes they where I go to Costco, you get a bag. They have a bag of already mixed up fruit and vegetables for a smoothie in it.
The frozen?
Yeah.
So you get enough nutrition out of the frozen than all the fresh?
Well, frozen is better. Frozen is better than like some canned goods or something like that because they have preservatives.
Right.
If you freeze it, you're not taking anything from it.
I didn't think about that.
No,
I really didn't think about that.
You're not taking anything from it if it's frozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frozen is
So
good.
now after we get that, then what else would we need to do?
Well, after the nutrition part. After the nutrition part, you want to exercise regularly. You want to start out. If you're a sedentary person and you're not used to working out, start out just walking.
Right.
Start doing small things like if you go to work and you park your car in the garage and you catch the elevator up, walk up sometimes.
Okay.
And if you can't walk up the whole 5 flights or whatever, catch the elevator to the 3rd floor, walk up 2 more flights.
And then get
work
off
your
and
way
walk.
up. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That seems like a
and
work.
definitely walk down.
Right.
It's easier to walk down, but you're getting those steps. You're getting that exercise. So definitely, when I go to a building or something, and I go to a building where it's like on the 2nd floor, 3rd floor, I walk up.
Okay.
And then I definitely walk
see,
down.
you already saw that muscle right there.
Started,
you already in shape. OMG.
But I had to start somewhere, though.
Woo,
I had to start somewhere. When I had a interview with one of my communications people at my church, and I had to do a interview like this for the news bulletin. Okay. And I was telling them some tips like that as well. Like about taking the stairs sometime, especially going down. You don't have to always park right next to the building. Park a little away from the building so you can walk to the building.
I know.
You want to get yourself at least 15 to 20 minutes of walking.
Right.
Because that is getting the heart in shape.
That's why I wanted to tell him to wear a tighter shirt so y'all could really see his body.
Well, I'm going to come back again.
Oh, yes, we're going to do this again, definitely.
I'm going to bring you videos.
Right. All right, now just tell us a little bit about your hauling. What type of hauling do you do? How long? Well, I know you just started the business, but just tell us a little bit so people also know about the hauling.
Okay. All right. Hauling is the same name, Purple Spinach Hauling.
Get out of here.
Yes, I keep the same name. That's my name.
And I'm not laughing at him, but by me knowing this man forever, I'm just imagining Purple Spinach Hauling. Okay, go on.
Yeah, it's unique. So,
right.
When I first came home, I got a pickup truck before I even got a car. Now I have both, but I have a pickup truck, and I have several friends that I do hauling for. They have contracting companies. They do home remodeling and gutting out bathrooms. And
now I know also to the car because I got a cleaning business, so sometimes I need that hauling.
Yeah,
yes, Lord.
Yeah, so that's one of my hustles.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, it does. I just had a call last week. One of my friends has a contract with the DC Fire Department.
Oh wow!
And he redid one of their areas where because they spend the night at work, and they have refrigerators, like 5, 6 refrigerators and wash machines and all of that. So they redid the whole thing, and they threw all the refrigerators away. So I had to go and haul those refrigerators and the wash machines.
We're going to have to talk a little later on because next time you get something good, because you could have sold that. And that could have been more. There's a place on Rhode Island Avenue. You could have taken all of that too and sold them for just, they probably would have given you like $200 a hit. Got to tell you about that.
Well, what I did, since I am a hauler, I went to the scrapyard over at Kenilworth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they don't give you that much, but they give you like 25 cents a pound. And I had it was like 600 pounds though. So.
Oh wow, okay.
So you did. So I got paid
well
for the hauling.
Right, and you got paid for that.
So I didn't get $200 for each refrigerator, but I got something.
Right, okay.
So I made use of my time, and what I do is sometimes, I've been working at the DC government for 15 years, so I have a lot of leave. So if there are days when I have a hauling job and it has to be done during the day, I'll take off, use my leave, and go do my hauling job. Or go do some fitness training, because most of my fitness training is done in the morning. I do my client is like 4:30 a.m.
Ooh, I don't know what I do the 4:30 a.m. I may have to see you on a video chat and be like, hey, I see you.
Yeah, you have to
just
be
record
driven.
it. And then oh my God, 4 o'clock in the morning, for real though?
Yes, I get up at 3:30 so I can be there by 4:30.
Yeah.
And I have to structure my days,
Right,
and you have to get some structure, man, because it takes a lot of discipline.
Right, it does.
And a lot of times, even when I get off my schedule, I still wake up in the morning because my body is used to waking up at a certain time. So if I don't have to get up, I won't get up, but I'll wake up and I'll just fall back to sleep,
Well, we'll be right back, but at this particular time, my particular part of this interview was sponsored by Less Two Parts. It's a tea setting that's going to happen tomorrow. And if you need to have any information on it, the telephone number is 1-813-385-6680. And we'll be right back. Thank you.
If I hadn't been exposed to caffeine minimum, I would probably be in jail or in the streets or dead right now.
Okay, that's one about the restaurant. Okay.
The current approach to juvenile justice is the definition of insanity, trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result each and every time. Instead of building a system of punishment, let's reward good behavior because good begets good and bad begets bad. Cafe Momentum is a 12-month paid internship for young men and young ladies exiting Dallas County juvenile detention facilities. Our approach completely changes the paradigm of juvenile justice. When the kids come in, we tell them, I love you and I believe in you. That sends a direct message that they carry with them for the rest of their lives. In 2008, I was co-owner of a successful restaurant, had been nominated for Best Up-and-Coming Chef in Dallas. I had the opportunity to teach 8 young men in juvenile detention how to make ice cream. One of them said, I just love to make food and give it to people and put a smile on their face. And that struck me to my core. The juvenile justice industry term to describe these kids is throwaway. When you're told that you're bad your entire life, you just accept it. And that's not fair. They've been told that they're dumb. They've been told that they're no good. For me, there was this realization that if you actually knew the kids, if you actually met them, you would realize just how awesome they are. For me, that was a big moment because I realized that I just want to open a restaurant and let the kids run it.
Take the knife.
So I walked away from a successful job and bet my entire career on taking kids out of jail and teaching them to play with knives and fire. Good job, Shayla. Most often, these kids are committing crimes to access resources. We're talking food, clothing, and shelter. I grew up with every resource I could possibly need, but if you put me in a situation where I haven't eaten for 4 days and I have the opportunity to steal so I can eat, I'm gonna do it because I'm starving. And so would any of us.
For my whole life, I've been raised by my grandparents, so they are my parents.
When my husband passed away, the rock was gone.
When my papa was alive, there was 2 incomes coming in. And now that he passed, there's only one, so I would catch myself going out to do things I wasn't supposed to do to get money. I could have got killed, like I was digging a hole for myself. I got sent to juvenile justice center, so I was actually there for 2 months. I heard about Cafe Minimum through my probation officer. When I went to Cafe Minimum, it was like they just welcome you with open arms. It's like a family type thing, you know. That felt good to me because I felt like I was a part of something.
How you guys doing today? This is a 12-month paid internship for juveniles who are just not coming out the Juvenile Justice Center. Helps them get a job, stay on their feet, and keep them out the Juvenile Justice Center. So I thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting us. It means so much to us.
We teach them all aspects of restaurant work. So it's an all-encompassing process of what it means to work in and be in a restaurant.
See that nice brown color?
Beyond that is the overarching curriculum. Write a resume, do a mock interview, training for life skills, things like that.
Also, we have case managers that get them out of crisis and create stabilization.
You scared to graduate?
A little bit.
Don't be scared.
I think what makes Cafe Momentum unique is that we see something in them sometimes before they can see it in themselves. I think a lot of people think that there's no way these kids can run this restaurant, but they can, and they do.
Then we put it up here, and we say, fish in the window.
Ready to go.
At the end of the day, it had to be about them having the opportunity to define who they were in life, not me to define that for them.
All right, I love you. I love you all. I love you with all my heart. Go get ready for dinner. Have a good shift.
Everything that we do in this restaurant is designed to create momentum so that when they leave here, that momentum is pushing them on an upward trajectory for the rest of their lives. In the state of Texas, 48.3% of the kids that go to jail once will be back within 12 months. Of the over 600 kids that Cafe Momentum has worked with, 85% of the kids have never gone back to jail at all.
I have seen a big difference before he started Cafe Momentum and afterwards. When he started there, the support started also.
I feel like I have a purpose, like I'm actually doing something that's helping people.
Say cheese.
We're incredibly proud to be ranked the third best restaurant in Dallas because it proves that these young men and young ladies can and will rise to whatever level of expectation is set for them. You can literally see the transformation happen, and it really all starts with just one person saying, I believe in you.
All right, and we are back. I wanted to show this particular video because Anthony also talks to people and tries to help the youth, and this guy is giving people a second chance. I really like this. Number one is because they're teaching all aspects of excuse me, all aspects of restaurant skills, from getting the trash to preparing the food to serving the food to learning how to even cook the food. So tell us a little bit about what do you think, because you just saw the clip as well.
I think that's a very, very good idea, man. Like I told you before, a lot of times to get the youth's attention, we have to give them alternatives, give them something to do that's going to keep their interest.
Yes.
And a lot of times, you know, what's being offered out there, they're not really interested in.
Right.
They can't make them any money, you know, so they can't take care of their families or, you know, stuff like that. So I think this is a very good idea. It gives them skills. It takes up time. It helps them to be structured. It teaches them humility, because they have to be humble in order to learn some of those
gotta
things,
be humble.
especially in that trade right there. I've done a lot of jobs, and that's one of them.
That's a hard trade. And I know one of the questions was given that somebody said, well, what do you think about these guys who have killed people working around with knives? Number one, you have to trust these people. Number two, I don't think you're just going to just give somebody the knife to start cutting things. Again, like this particular show was, it shows you how to start from the beginning to get to, I'm assuming, a master cook. They just started about making ice cream, and with this one guy making ice cream, he got so many awards, didn't know anything about making ice cream, to somebody who's been making ice creams, and he beat a whole lot of people. That alone is amazing, just like, wow. So I'm really interested, and I wish and pray that somebody could get something like that in D.C. I'm quite sure there is, but just that alone, I'm very into giving people a second chance. I've done that with my business. I used to deal with the guys who would come out of jail, and I would give them a cleaning job. I don't think I'm the best person to, quote unquote, decipher them, because I wasn't a street person per se. Right. But I still do it. It's just I'm really, really low key on doing that. Do me a favor, because we're going to slowly be on the end of this. Make sure that you tell everybody your name, your information, your Facebook, all of that, so that everybody can get your information.
Well, my name is Anthony D. Miller, and I'm on Facebook. I don't have an Instagram or Twitter, but I'm really not a social media type person, but I do have a Facebook, Anthony Miller on Facebook. My email is adextermiller@gmail.com.
All right, spell that for the people.
ADEXTERMILLER@gmail.com.
Okay. Also, too, for anybody who is interested in putting their show or becoming to be on the show, if they have a business, if you have anything that you would like to just showcase, please let me know. Excuse me for my voice. www.latenightwhispers.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. My number is 202-510-2199. Don't forget the Les Party. That's tomorrow from 3 to 6. And I really appreciate everybody listening. It's Late Night Whispers on It's Gorgeous Radio. And I'm Coco, and good night. Mwah! Thank you.